So, how many of you know about recent? How many of you know recent? Recent.com. You should know it. Yeah, check. You probably know it, but you can't remember. So, how many of you know about recent now? Just okay, cool. So recent actually started when I started doing my own company, too. And as of December 2023, we had a security breach. And this person who exploited their system actually had access to their database key and then started accessing user card information, um, their emails, and this lasted for about 2 weeks. Yeah. Um, so when I said lasted for about 2 weeks, that was how long it took them to discover and then fix patch the issue, right? And then it cost them over $100,000 to like fix up. And also they lost a lot of user trust, right? A lot of people started running away from recent and then moving to other platforms. We all know as Africans, we don't have $100,000 to spend on the security breach. That actually like our perceived when. So what this stuff would actually do is help you educate on how to prevent things like that. And yeah, you can read this yourself. I don't want to like so what we cover is this stuff. First of all, we're going to discuss four things actually, which is authentication, managing secrets, securing good dependencies, and then logging. If you are a senior engineer that works at a structured company, I don't think this stuff is for you. You probably know it already. You probably have security scanning tools in place. Where this stuff is mainly targeted at hackers and early stage startup, right? If you're an engineer working at early stage startup that does not have like structure. Yes. So we're not going to be technical here. Just brief for you. The first thing I would advise you to do is not to roll out your own crypto, right? Um, Crypto errors, they are not allowed actually. But then it can make your system vulnerable. You won't even know that. Yes. So what I would advise you to do is to use node libraries and that's actually been solid for you, right? The second thing is to validate every request. So let's take, for example, after your user logs in, right? You still need to check if they are token, if it is valid, right? You still need to like validate it. You don't just log them in with their token from 6 months ago, right? You have to like make those tokens expire, um, perhaps 15 to 60 minutes, depending on which one you want. Which comes to like the next one, add expiry and quotation. So once a user logs out, immediately rotate, make the previous one expire, right? And once they log in again, generate a new one, and you should be fine. So a lot of us, I think a lot of companies now use it, and early stage startups in Africa might be tempted to like use it, right? So if you know your product only requires email and password, please keep it simple and use email and password, right? You'll be fine, I promise. Don't go overboard as you scale and users demand to like use their Google account to sign in. Sure, you can add it, but you can start simply your email and your password, and you'll be fine. The second thing here is secret management. So, like I said, I worked for a secret management company, so I kind of have like in-depth knowledge around secret management. So, the first advice I'll give you is never code secret, right? I have uploaded secret, I pushed it to GitHub, and before you know, someone is already using it, right? You'll be surprised now if you push your AWS key within, let's just say 1 to 2 minutes, you start your bill will start spiking up. If you're in Web3 also, and you push one of your secrets, you just cry, to be honest. You probably lose all your money, right? So the first advice I'll give you is never approach secret. And how can you not do this, right? Is to use environment variable or a secret manager. Personally, for me, I don't advise using environment. Don't use .env file. Personally, I'll tell you use .env file. Use secret management tools like we have the physical, we have Docker, AWS also has one. We have Adeboye. We also help you use the secret credentials locally. I think you have to install your CLI and then you'll be able to access those secret credentials and use it. So this prevents you from not pushing any secret credential to GitHub, to GitLab. People are actively watching and they're scanning GitHub for like secret credentials to like use. Some people don't have money to pay their AWS bills. Go ahead and use your AWS to pay their bills, right? So rotate secrets regularly. So one thing that recently did not do well was number one, they were not using the secret management tool, right? That was what made that database key got leaked, right? So assuming they are probably been using the secret management tool, they would have prevented that. It was dead simple. Just use the secret management tool. You won't have to pay 100K. So the cybersecurity tool to like audit your platform. Or you don't have to like report to the police. Because that was what they did. I think I wrote a blog post about it. You can just search for my name, Daniel Adeboye on Medium. You find it there. I did like a breakdown of like the incident, how they prevent it, and like the next steps, right? So the next thing is keep secrets out of blocks, right? So a lot of us here have mistakenly pushed through credentials, right? But then you still after fixing it, after pushing another commit to like remove that secret, and that secret still remains in your Git history. Am I correct? Okay, cool. You could actually squash that commit. Am I correct? We are all senior engineers. Cool. Make sure you squash that commit, right? Make sure that secret is not there. Because personally, for me, if you're building an open source tool, you push your secret credentials, you can just click on your commit history and go and click on that commit and still find that key there. And you understand now, still your users card information. Okay, so securing dependency. So I said I built my own company based on this. So this was what we were doing, right, at KTP. So we built tools that helps you scan. So for example, as you write your code, right side of the IT, we scan it. As soon as you write, we scan it for vulnerabilities. So after scanning it and we find a particular vulnerability, we recommend a fix using AI. Unfortunately, it did not work. We ran out of money, we had to shut down. So for your dependencies also, we scan your dependencies for vulnerability. We scan that particular version that you're using. We check for vulnerability. And if we find any vulnerability, we recommend a version that does not have any CD or any security breach, right? So that's what I'll advise you to also do. Look for a tool like Akido that helps you scan your dependencies for vulnerabilities. You can also run go mode type. Like I say, one other thing I would also advise you is try as much as possible to avoid using the latest releases. Try as much as possible. You could probably use the version before the latest release to be on like the safe side, right? I mean, a lot of people might like say no, the latest release has like the latest update, but then 2 days later you might actually like get a report that oh, this particular version actually has some security vulnerabilities in it, and you have to go back to the previous version and wait till they patch that issue, right? So try as much as possible to use the version before the latest release. Um, don't like project random stuff on GitHub. So now that we have AI coding tools out there that generate some more code for you, um, these tools are actually built on top of codes on GitHub, right? So they might actually generate something that has vulnerability in it. And that was why we're building this secure to help you scan those AI generated codes, make sure they are secure, and then you're fine. So use tools to scan. I think I mentioned that already. So login. So this we said I have to like check their logs to be able to like um, track when they had that breach, right? So before it was through their log that they found out that oh, this user got access to this key on this particular day. He started using, he started getting access to user card information this particular day. So just imagine you don't have proper log setting. How are you going to know if there's something going on, right? So use proper log and vulnerability. Um, like I said, yeah, start small, but don't skip. It doesn't have to like be something really, really advanced. Like I said, we are all like small companies. We're trying to like get the product to users as soon as possible. So you can just start small, but don't skip it. Do structured mode, add request ID, even basic metrics because the data incident response. So that was what recently they did not have like a full-blown security in place, but then they had proper logging to be able to like fix and patch that vulnerability that the security that happened. So in practical checklists, right? You have to check your product and ask yourself, is all enforced and are your tokens rotating? If that is enforced, check. You have to also check your Git history. There are tools. So the previous company I work at was based. We also have tools that helps you scan your like Git history to know if I think GitLab can also do that. I think in physical does that too. You can check your Git history for Git credentials. You can fix that also. You have to make sure everywhere is clean. So dependencies are scanned. Use tools like Akido. I think CodeRabbit also have a security feature there that you can use. Logs are structured, incident table exists. So this incident table is really how you respond to security breach when it happens. You're fine. So common pitfalls to avoid. Don't ever say we will fix security later. They just ship it to the users. Don't ever do that. You end up crying, just like the way we said, spent over 100,000 on that. Assuming they have these things in place, they will definitely avoid. So assuming the CEO of Recent is here and launched this before it started being Recent, probably not have that reach. So using random GitHub codes, please avoid that. And make sure the AI you're using, you're also scanning the code that's being generated. Forgetting to remove keys and not monitoring at all. Tools and resources. Secret management, secret managers. So in physical. So I built a one-page deploy template that helps that deploys the physical to the cloud for free. Basically, you can use it for free on plans. You can reach out to me. I'll send you the link to it so you can like deploy your secret manager and then you start using it. What libraries are you going with that? We also know if not here. For the risk scanners, I only recommended that people use because I've used it and I'm satisfied with it. Like just service. Login, you all know that. I'm trying to be fast. Key takeaways. You don't need to choose between speed and security. Do both together. Use that secret manager today. Proper login. Scan your dependencies and you'll be fine. Make sure your host is in place. You'll be fine. Small steps like you see paying data. Don't beat the next reset. I don't spend $900,000 or $500,000 on security. So have a checklist, not a zombie graph. Yeah. Thank you.